Welcome to the Athletic NBA Show live from Summer League. Yeah, big audience here. We've got myself, Zach Harper. We got Jay King, Justin Verrier. Verrier? How do you want to say it?
Whatever you want, man.
Justin Verrier from the Ringer group chat. Give it a listen.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I can see you're a listener.
Our old friend Big Waz on that podcast.
Yeah.
Justin used to be my editor at ESPN.
Sure.
I don't actually know if that's true. Yeah, you were an editor. You were an editor.
I was your boss.
You were. Whoa. All right. Well, now look at you. This is. I don't know who this is worse for. You or me.
Yeah,
hey, speaking of worse, that Friday night game of Victor Wembanyama, not that good. But you know what was good? Tonight's game, Sunday night. 27 points. Was that 27 points? I might have made that up.
That is correct.
10 rebounds, 3
12,
blocks.
actually.
12 rebounds, 3 blocks. Yeah, we got, just numbers. It doesn't really matter. He was incredible. And, sure, Bell Biv DeVoe outscored him and ended up beating him with the Blazers winning 85-80. But Jay has been kind of a Wembanyama hater.
Not a real hater.
Called him overrated, overhyped.
Today
not
I called
that
him
good.
malnourished Andre Drummond because he missed 5 free throws.
You sure did. You also, was it Ante Zomich? Who was
Zizic.
Zizic, yes. Ante Zizic. We got that comparison after Friday's game. But Jay,
Today I also said Nicholas Skeetishvili with a barefoot pregame workout.
All right, Justin, what were your impressions of Wembanyama game 2? He admitted after game 1 he didn't really know what he was doing. Amin Al-Hassan in the house just heckling. They can't hear you. Justin, what were your impressions?
True. I think whatever
What's happening right now?
What is happening?
Okay.
Continue doing your show.
All right.
What should I say about Wembanyama?
What cannot be said about
Well, you want to talk into the
that's-
microphone? You want to? Yeah, okay, there we
good.
go. That was Amin Al-Hassan of Meadowlark Media, former Phoenix Suns executive,
think
and co-host of Cinephobe.
Okay. I think game 2 of Wembanyama, he shook off whatever rust he needed to
Sure.
feel like he was an NBA player, right?
Yeah.
It seemed like he was just shell-shocked in that first game. He was out of shape. Whatever could go wrong went wrong in this game. He looked like, I think, what you would expect from him in year 1 of his experience, where it seems like he's going to struggle with some of the nuance, I think, that make him special in the NBA. But just being a giant human is going to provide him certain advantages, and you saw that play out with the blocks, just getting stuff at the rim, and just the shooting is there. And so I thought that was encouraging to see such a dramatic leap from 1 to 2 at the very least.
The coolest thing is the Spurs, they can do so many things with him.
Yeah.
He was coming off dribble handoffs as a 7'5" center. Like, there aren't any centers in the league really who do that, regular-size centers. For a 7'5" guy to do that stuff, it's just kind of special. I think they're going to have so much fun just experimenting with how best to use him, how to use just what is a very unique skill set. We've never seen anyone like this dude.
Yeah, I think looking at him today, I still thought he looked a little nervous in the first quarter or so. And then he got a jumper to fall. He got a step-back jumper to fall over a defender. What I noticed about him, and you mentioned the malnourished Andre Drummond, but he got to the free throw line 12 times. You can only challenge his shot by
You
fouling him,
Yeah.
right? Like there. And granted, he's going to face better defenders than Baji, who doesn't really look like he should be out there. But with Wemby, like Jay, like you do have to get really uptight on him to even have a chance at bothering him, taking away space. Like I don't really know how you defend that. And I thought part of that helped them today in getting him some opportunities was I didn't think they ran a whole lot for him in game 1. He was just kind of out there. They seemed to, like you mentioned, be running a lot more stuff today.
Yeah, it felt like too much stagnant stuff, ISO stuff in the first game. They were really loading up on him. They were able to get into his body, strip him a bunch of times. Today it was just a whole bunch of different ideas, basically. And like you said, you can't contest a shot. He drew a 3 on a drew 3 foul shots on a perfectly contested shot. Like, you cannot guard him. He hit one over the top of another perfect contest.
Yeah.
It's going to be so tough to take away that space for just about any defender. And if he hits it, he wasn't a great three-point shooter overseas this season. I think that's one of the questions for him moving forward is how great a shooter can he actually become?
Yeah.
Can he be consistent with that shot? Can he really stretch the floor in a way that's meaningful? I think probably the best guess is that, yes, he will eventually do that. But it could take time. The offense could take time. The defense, I think, will be next level right away.
So I heard a take today, sitting in the stands, talking to some people are in the know, maybe guessing that the Spurs could have a top 6 to 10 defense next season. I actually think like the offense is going to be rough for them because I just think they don't have a lot of shot creators, and he's not going to be strong enough yet. But if you have him and another big, whether that's Zach Collins, whether they bring back Gorgie Jang, like whoever that is, and then all that length on the wings, and then Trey Jones is small, but he's great at navigating screens. He gets into to offensive players. Like I don't know, maybe by the end of the season they could have a surprisingly high-ranking defense.
Yeah, I think the question is how they're going to use him, and I think you saw flashes of that tonight. It seems like they're committed to playing him at the 4 going forward, right? And just potentially putting a Zach Collins or someone big in there just to take the lumps from there. I would say that his weak side defense and just his rim protection coming off of the wing and guarding on the perimeter probably needs a little bit of development there. I feels like he's like a defensive end playing in space for the first time.
Yeah.
But just by being a giant human, he's just going to pick up 3 blocks. Like I've been saying, he might break the block record simply by playing consistent minutes in the NBA. And so, I mean, we'll see. We don't even know who the Spurs are going to fill all that cap space with. So there's still a lot to be decided before we're talking about top 10 defense, let alone just like a starting 5 lineup. But they're going to be good eventually. But I think it's going to take a lot. I mean, the other part of this is like how much of a lump can he take? We saw him on the floor, I would say, half of his minutes. And now it's good that he got back up all the time, and I think he showed some toughness, which was really encouraging. But he's going to get pushed around a lot.
I loved him down the stretch of the game, too.
Yeah.
You could see the competitive fire. They're down a couple points, and he's helping off the corner. Whoever the ball handler was, I forget who it was, does a spin move, and he took the perfect time to double, forces a turnover, starts going crazy. He's got the Nelly Band-Aid on, kind of going nuts. But you can see he's just a real competitor on top of being as skilled and talented and enormous as he is.
I thought the crowd was fascinating.
Yeah.
Because it, like, the anxiety in the crowd in Game 1
Imagine paying hundreds of dollars for that game.
Well, for that game, and that, like, that crowd has not been that anxious since, like, the earthquake in 2019. Like that's the last time we felt that kind of like nervous energy in the crowd.
It's the last time Zion looked good.
Oh man.
It might be the last time he played at this point. That's former Pelicans reporter for ESPN, Justin Barrier. I look at the Game 1, people almost reveled in the idea that he was looking like a bust, right? And then as he got going in game 2 on tonight on Sunday, the crowd got behind him, and look, that I don't know if that's going to happen on the road.
I
like
bet
that,
it will.
Maybe. I mean, because it's also like how's the nice way to put that? He looks freakish. Like it doesn't make sense physically to watch him move, to watch him play, and so I think that alone captivates the crowd in a way to where when he's then doing good things on a basketball court, like you can't help but kind of want more of those good things to happen, even if they're maybe against your team, as long as your team wins.
He has the Taco Fall allure, but he's the best prospect since LeBron James.
Right.
And so that's like it's going to be just crazy.
Like if Taco Fall moved like Bol Bol, like that's
Taco Bowl.
That's another tough comparison. We've given some tough comparisons.
Don't look at the
to
camera after that. Why did you look at the camera after that?
Well, listen, I've always said
You're
that.
You're just like Jim from The Office, this thing. Like.
I was trying to transition to some actual content. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I always said that part of what led to Steph's rise was not only just him being so good, was that he was doing something unique on the basketball court that nobody else was doing. Right? He could get a LA fan engaged because you're not seeing that from just a regular, Detroit Pistons, San Antonio Spurs game, right? Wembanyama is a one-of-one, and I think people are drawn to the spectacle of it. I think it's curious, though, whether he's going to be a villain or he is going to be just someone more beloved, because he is way more charismatic than I ever imagined. Like, he did one interview, I was like, I want to be friends with that guy.
Yeah.
Which is, like, surprising because you don't expect that from a Spur, but you also don't expect that from, like, a foreign guy. It takes a lot of time, typically, for these guys to, like, ingratiate themselves to just, like, an American lay fan.
Even the line he said where he was like, I didn't know what I was doing tonight. I need to learn what I'm doing. That was funny.
Yes.
Like, legitimately funny.
Unfortunately, the Spurs are going to beat that out of him. Like they're just going to they're not going to allow this to be a character, right? Like it's just not. It's not going to be a thing. So I wonder if like it'll be boring until he's on the court. Like because that's kind of the Spurs way.
The other part of it too is I think everyone's going to be jacked up to play against Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, God.
And we've seen it in summer league. Obviously, Kai Jones was like that was probably the
best
biggest
game of his life.
the biggest and best game of his life. And I think NBA players, like you listen to Pat Beverly. Remember when he played Lonzo Ball during Lonzo Ball's rookie season, and he was just jacked up trying to keep him from getting to half court. Like he's talked about that. This is a guy who's been so hyped, and everyone's going to be up in his stuff, just going at him, and it's going to be so much fun. And it's going to be the Spurs, who aren't very good, and so it's going to be in an environment where it's like not super important what the outcome is.
Can I swear on this?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of shit to his
fucking
game.
can.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Let's not celebrate it. Let's just kind of ease it in.
There's a lot of shit to his game.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's part of the draw.
Yeah.
I'm curious how much of that is going to translate in the NBA. What do you guys think? Because, like, as you've seen in Summer League, like, anytime he puts the ball on the floor, guys are swarming at him and swiping at him.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's gotten accustomed to it yet. Maybe he does eventually, but that's what's making him unique. But I also wonder if that's really going to be there for another couple years.
The thing about that is he's going to go against way better guards at doing that, right? Way better wings. And so, like, I think you got a little bit of a taste of that when Brandon Miller was helping in the first game. Like, it was no offense to Shaedon Sharpe, he's not really a defender, right? So, like, you didn't really have a lot of that tonight, but also they weren't just kind of saying, dribble around, let's see how much shit is in your game, and we'll figure it out from there. Like, they ran more basketball plays for him. And so I think that, the strength with the ball, and I think that all comes in, like, as he's gathering from his dribble, because it's such a long way, he just has to figure out how to do that quicker at the NBA level. Like, I don't even – like, it's funny. I saw people talking about how, we showed how his lack of physicality on, against the Hornets and stuff. I thought he was moving Brandon Miller in the post, like, pretty well. Like, he's moving him 4 or 5 feet, but then losing the ball. And I don't think that had anything to do with a lack of physicality. I think it had to do with trying to figure out how to gather against help at the NBA level or the Summer League NBA level.
Yeah, and I think all that stuff could take time. Like, we've seen it with Kristaps Porzingis, who was another similarly sized player, had strength issues, especially early in his career. He had issues in the post, and especially when he was guarded by smaller, quicker players.
Yeah.
And I think early on, I would guess that Wembanyama gets a lot of wings on him. He gets a lot of stronger guards on him. It's going to be like Drew Holiday up in his stuff, trying to take away his dribble every time. And so it's going to be interesting to see how the San Antonio Spurs counteract that.
Yeah.
And also, eventually, that's not going to work. And eventually, he's going to reach a point where he just shoots over you. And the game tonight, like, he was in the paint, kind of made a move that didn't go anywhere, and then just turned around and shot over the top of somebody right after it. And it's like, eventually, that's what's going to happen. It's like Neo in the Matrix. Like, when you figure out you're the one, you are going to be the one.
And I think it's a lot of that, like, tip the rebound to himself, and it's a dunk.
Oh,
and it's weird to see it because, like, it looks so easy and it looks so natural. And I guess it is because of his height and his agility and everything. But then, like, you get 2 seconds out of that highlight, I'm like, what the hell just happened? That didn't make any sense. And he's not the first player to ever do it, but I think the ease with which he made it look.
Listen, NBA players are giant humans. He is a giant amongst giants.
Ever heard of Muggsy Bogues?
Yeah, I have.
Isaiah Thomas.
Both of them.
So the two average-sized humans played the game of basketball. Otherwise, they're very big people, and you could just see
Michael
just by
Adams.
standing above all these people, how much of an advantage he has. But I will say this: if you want to use him more conventionally, I'm curious how much he can be a factor in the screen and roll game. And you saw it a little bit there where, like, yes, he occupies a ton of space. So at some part, he can only be so bad as a screener. But, like, you can see him getting moved pretty quickly in that regard as well. And so even using him more traditionally, like just a regular rookie big, I wonder how successful you could be there. Like, obviously it's not black and white. They'll find a gray area to use all of this stuff. But, like, a lot of stuff has to come along here.
Well, I also, like, look, you mentioned the three-point shooting, it was like 28, 29% overseas, and it's a shorter line and everything. None of that's worried me, like, translating to the NBA, because his shot looks so good. The release point is so high. It's so fluid. It's not like this shot put or anything. It's not this lack of mechanics or anything. I think it's just a matter of getting used. And also, like, he took some bullshit three-pointers in France. Like, he just did, like, some awful, awful shots that you would just – play like kind of like just dicking around with your friends. Like, that's what it was,
Kevin
right?
Porter Jr. type.
Yeah, exactly.
So Zach Harper type shots.
Well, yeah, but Hit more than 29%. Come on. A
Maybe.
wet jumper. It's not gonna.
Maybe on a good night.
39% maybe. But like I just think like, especially in the Spurs stuff, the Spurs system, like they're gonna iron out a lot of the BS. And so like, there's so many positives. I'm glad he had a great game because you just don't want that kind of like, well, I don't know, he couldn't really do anything in summer league. What's he going to do at the NBA level? You're already going to get a lot of people saying, oh, what happens when Giannis plays him? What happens? It's like, what happens when Giannis plays anybody?
Right.
Like, why is all of a sudden Wembanyama is like, well, he sucks because Giannis is going to overpower him? He pushed Ben Simmons, a 6'10", 240 guy, around, dunked on him, called him a little baby, and we're just like, yeah, that's normal. Like, he's going to get overpowered at times, but he's also – there's going to be a point in his career, and I don't think it's going to take that long, where no one tries to dunk on him anymore.
And even in the first of all, I think everyone's going to try to dunk on him.
I think
forever.
No.
Forever, everyone's going to try to dunk on him.
Ever heard of Mark Eaton?
That's a career highlight.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Sean Bradley.
Also, big people.
Sean Bradley. Dikembe, everyone tried to dunk on
Chris Paul, another
Mutombo.
normal-sized guy.
Didn't always work, but everyone tried to dunk on Mutombo.
Fred VanVleet.
All right, buddy.
I like the segment of the show where I just name players and interrupt what you're saying.
I want to go back to the first game, though, because obviously it was a dud. And he didn't shoot well. He didn't score well. He did so many things in that game that were such high-low. His defense was amazing.
Yeah.
He had 5 blocks. He led the break and threw a left-handed bounce pass for a wide-open dunk.
He probably should have had 4 or 5 more assists in that game. Like we didn't really see a whole lot of passing tonight, but that first game, he showed a lot.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that he does, I just think Greg Popovich is going to have so much fun figuring out how to maximize
Extra
it.
5 years, by the way.
And that's part of the reason why I was happy they didn't try to speed things up.
Just saying things that have happened recently now. Sorry, go ahead.
That's part of the reason why I was happy they didn't try to speed things up and go out and get impact players this summer, because to me, the first year of his career should in large part be, how do we find what makes this guy special?
Right.
How do we accentuate him in whatever way we can, running the right sets, what types of lineups work best with him, figuring out all that stuff. It's just like a lab for this first year. And Greg Popovich, he's going to be 79 by the time that extension
5 years
runs out.
Yeah.
5 years.
Like
heard it here first, guys.
You heard it here first? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think, Justin, like the weird thing about, like, we have to make comparisons. So it's like, oh, they tanked for him. Well,
Me or you?
No, I don't. I hate comparisons.
Oh, really?
I'd rather everyone be their unique selves.
That's true.
Except for Nick
Delicate
Van Exel.
flowers.
I want more people to be like Nick Van Exel.
Sure.
Like, I really appreciated him. But we immediately go like, well, Tim Duncan, he got drafted by the Spurs. They turned it around. They were contenders right away. And it's like, yeah, he came back. Like, he got in there and, like, David Robinson came back.
He was like 29 when he was
Yeah.
a rookie.
29 years old as
He
a
was
rookie.
first team All-NBA as a rookie,
Yeah.
which is great.
insane.
And Wemby is joined, like, no offense, he's a gold medalist, but, like, it's Keldon Johnson, right? Like, that's who Wemby's. So, like, it is going to have to be a slower play. They're not going to be a good team this year. But with him, I think the development, not skipping steps, all those cliches, that's the important part for this first year, maybe the first 2 years.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about how they'll use him. How about how much is he going to actually play? Because I think that was the most encouraging thing tonight, is that, as you referenced, like, they played him down the stretch in crunch time. It was good to see him kind of rise to the moment. He really definitely has that dog in him, as Zach Harper likes to say.
Oh, woof, woof, baby.
Do you say that?
No.
Okay, well, maybe you should. But I think I had a big question about how much they were going to play him in Summer League in general, just because he had been playing over in France. But also, like, how much are they going to stagger his minutes? How much are they going to be protective over him? And going into the regular season, are we going to see a minutes limit? Are we going to see burst Zion-esque with the Spurs? And so I do think that's going to be my biggest question. But it seems like he wants to get after it, and they kind of let him play through that tonight. So I thought that was among the more encouraging things to see.
And one of the things that's kind of stood out as we've gotten to know more about Wembanyama as a person, he's been preparing for this for a long time, like getting his body right. There's a plan for every single thing that he does, right down to the barefoot pregame workout, which is designed to strengthen his feet, because obviously as a taller person, that can be an issue with foot injuries.
I don't like walking on a hardwood floor barefoot, you know?
Yeah, well, that's
but it's
probably
dangerous
why
with
you're not
socks,
a
so
generational prospect.
it's tough, yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
If you
Too much
had,
dust.
you could have been the number
Yeah,
one
that's
overall
true.
pick.
Do you not wear sandals in your house?
No, I don't wear any shoes in my house.
What do you just?
I don't wear pants. Like, what I'm gonna have no pants but sandals? That doesn't make any
Just
sense.
stubbing your toes.
I wear socks to
Yeah.
bed.
Why?
Oh no, that's
no, that's not okay.
I wear socks
You're a
to
serial
bed.
killer.
You're married.
I feel better in socks. I mean, more comfortable in socks.
Mrs. King, what's going? Did she take your last name? That's not important.
She hasn't legally taken it yet, but she's decided to take it.
Maybe trouble in paradise. I don't know what's going on, but I wanted to ask the question.
Tune in next time.
Tune in next time.
There's
Next
a lot
summer
of
league to
paperwork
find out.
involved,
Yeah,
okay?
well, it's just forms. That's all it is. It's all digital now. It's not that big a deal. Do you think he should play again this summer? I don't. I think pull him. What's the point of he's had 2 games. There's no point in risking injury.
He did NBA Con.
He did
the biggest event of the NBA calendar, according to Adam
Can we
Silver.
talk about that stupid sphere? I don't know if we're going to get cut off here, but that stupid sphere just in the middle of Las Vegas.
Oh, I love it.
It was a moon at one point. It's a basketball. It's an eyeball. I don't like it at all.
It's incredible.
Why not?
It's freakish. I think it's a traffic hazard.
It's the last thing people need to worry about in Vegas.
Is traffic?
Well, yeah, just distractions. There's enough already.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it, honestly. I swear to God. I have no clue what you're talking
It's
about.
behind the link, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
The link?
The link.
What the fuck is the link?
It's a
You're just saying things.
It's
you
a hotel.
know what you're talking about.
It's a hotel.
Oh, okay,
Welcome
cool.
to Vegas.
Is
Goodness.
it nice?
It's all right.
All right.
It used to be called something else.
Vindara, baby.
Imperial Palace, maybe?
Okay.
And I just remember that place because I stayed there one year with friends.
You
Four
don't have
guys
many of
four
those.
guys to a room, very cheap.
Socks on?
I didn't have socks on. Almost got into it with a Michael Jackson impersonator.
Huh.
There was a shoulder bump that happened on a walk, and it didn't go well.
What
Did
era?
you bump him or did he bump
He bumped
you?
my friend.
Yeah.
And then you stood up for your friend? Or your
Always.
friend stood up for himself and then you stepped in?
Probably the latter, but yeah, I definitely stepped in.
Regular Dylan Brooks over here.
I respect your loyalty.
Oh, I'm ready to go at any time. I'm also ready to sleep at any time. So, it's the duality of man. It really is.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Hey, guys, what are some other observations you had from Summer League? JV, who's impressed you?
So it turns out Jabari Smith, not that bad.
Also should not play
Not that
anymore.
bad.
Yeah.
He shouldn't play anymore.
I'm,
He's too good.
I'm in favor of playing all these guys. They all need to get so much better. Every single one of them.
This isn't making
From
you better.
Wembanyama on down.
This isn't making you
Play
better.
'em all.
He and Tari
They're gonna
Eason
be
are too
playing no
good for
matter
Summer
what.
League. They're
Yeah.
not getting. I get they want to play, and it's not bad that they
Are
want
you
to
a
play.
Rockets fan? Does that mean you're a Rockets fan now? A believer?
No, if they're playing Summer League competition all year, then yeah, I'm in. But no,
They could have
Jay thinks the
James
Rockets are going to
Wiseman
win.
guard him. Yeah.
James
Christ.
Wiseman. Jay thinks the Rockets are going to win 40 games.
40?
40.
Out of how many?
4-0. 8
Out of
82.
180?
Out of 82. They're going to have an identity. This is the second
think-
straight time I've derailed this
you
podcast here in
think
Las Vegas.
That
Last
they
time-
signed Brooke Lopez. Are you under the impression they signed Brooke Lopez?
Who needs Brooke Lopez when
The
you
Rockets?
have Alperon Shenko?
when you have Jock Landell, baby.
No, but seriously, they are going to have an identity. They are going to be super tough.
They had an identity last year. It was not good.
It was
they were bad.
extremely poor.
Yeah.
But they have better players now. Fred VanVleet, very good. Dylan Brooks, super tough. No matter what you want to say about him, he's
Unless he's
as-
in a fight, and then he gets tackled by
as
the
tough
team
as they
manager,
come.
a
Second-
regular size, Chris Paul size team manager.
second team all defense. Jayshawn Tate, very good defender.
Yeah, he's nice.
Jabari Smith, also a very good defender. They have super athletes in Thompson, Jalen Green. They have Whitmore. They're going to have an identity as an extremely
Whitmore's not
long,
gonna play.
extremely athletic, extremely switchable team.
Whitmore's not going to
And I'm in. I am in.
Is Amin Thompson going to
Never
play?
mind. Jock Landale. Who needs Brooke Lopez when you got Jock Landale?
That's the worst thing you've ever said on this podcast.
Yeah, that was
I think they might be worse
terrorism.
than the Spurs next year.
Ooh.
Because here's the thing,
The
you're still
Spurs were
playing-
really bad
this-
last year.
Yeah, but they at least have structure and an identity, and they can run plays. What are we doing with Kevin Porter Jr.? How much is
Not
Amen
playing
Thompson?
him.
Not much.
Yeah.
I would guess not much. That's
Sure.
That's part of my thesis here. is that he will not play much.
Okay, I would hope so. But Amen Thompson is 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
He has to play through mistakes. There's so many young guys that still need to actually learn the basics of NBA basketball. I still don't know how they actually win games, even if they have a vet like Fred and
And
Dylan
to that
around.
point, I don't know, like Jalen Green, Amin Thompson, Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet. You can't play all those guys at once. You can't play three of those guys at once and hope to win, right? They have an embarrassment of riches in terms of there's a lot of guys that need minutes because there's a lot of guys with great potential. But, I mean, I don't – Ime Udoka's he's going to have a real tough time figuring out rotations with this team because what's the offensive identity? What's the defensive identity? Like, yes, Dylan Brooks can defend. Fred VanVleet, despite being like 5'10", like he can
Another small guy.
He can compete. Normal size guy. I said him earlier. He can compete defensively, but he's still short.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Green, not a defender. Amin Thompson, not a defender. Jabari is a good defender, but how many different combinations can you put out there? I think half their season is going to be figure out what the rotation is, which Ime did in Boston, right? Like that year in Boston, it took him a while to figure that out. That rotation, that was with really good players ready to win now. I just don't know. I think the future for Houston is super bright. I just don't think it happens.
Super bright?
I like a lot of that talent, man.
They're very much Zach Harper players. Jalen Green is the most Zach
bad?
Harper player.
Oh my
bad
God.
players?
Oh
Is
my
that
God, Jalen Green. I don't even think he thinks about passing. It doesn't. Like he could be the inbounder. He's like, can I shoot this?
Cam
Like
Whitmore
I love
doesn't
that.
even think
Oh my God,
as much as
he's
Jalen Green does about passing.
Yeah, he's so smooth, but he's not going to pass. Like I just don't know. I don't know where that comes from in terms of winning games this year.
The only thing Cam Whitmore passes is the eye test.
He's a grinder. Also, maybe hurt all the time. I don't know. But
TJ McConnell, normal size guy.
so let's say they're better than the Spurs. What other team are they vaulting in the West? Is
Right.
my concern.
Like, how are you getting to 40? Because
Yeah.
even in their own division, they're not better than Dallas. They're not better than Memphis.
I think Dallas is going to be.
They're
good.
not better than the Pelicans.
That is a question I've grappled with. As I was forming
Did you
this
did
take,
you win that grapple?
I haven't yet won it with myself, but I'm in the middle of a grapple with that question.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
This is,
He hasn't
these
run
are
the
things
numbers.
that go
What
on in my
numbers?
He
brain.
needs to put him through the Nate Silver meter thingy.
Didn't that thing get shut down?
Well, not for him.
Oh, okay.
I still have access.
Oh, well, that maybe why it got shut down.
Yeah.
Okay, who else? Who else besides Jabari Smith? Because Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, too good for somebody. I don't think they should play anymore.
I loved Scoot Henderson. Obviously,
Yeah, he looked
very
great,
limited
yeah.
time. He
Amin
was
Thompson looked great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Scoot, he's so big, so physical, got wherever he wanted, and could just run a team. And especially in a summer league setting, it's rare to see
He's been
someone
playing-
who's just making the right play.
He's been playing summer league basketball for like 3 years. Like it's
a great point. Yeah.
I guess that's fair.
But still, like
He's great.
He looks way beyond his years, and just in terms of understanding the game.
Yeah, and to me, like we know the physicality that he's going to have. We know the athleticism he's going to have. But for him to come in his first game as a pro and come in on fire, but then not only just he scored a ton instantly, but then still was passing and getting people involved. And that to me was really impressive.
Just instant comfort with
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
It was just right there immediately.
I-
You know who isn't good though?
Who?
His teammate, Shaden Sharp.
I'm with you on this
Really?
train.
Whoa.
He's a Zach guy.
Yeah,
He's
I
a
love
Zach
him.
guy.
I love him.
What does he do well except for dunk? And he missed one
He
tonight.
takes shots.
He shoots threes.
He takes.
He takes a lot of
he
shots.
Takes them. There you go.
Yeah, he takes a lot of
That's
shots.
it.
I like that though. I like that he's not afraid to score.
He's ambitious. He's ambitious.
Like he should have dominated tonight. There's literally no
Sure.
one in his way. I know Wemby is a defensive presence, and like the Spurs team is
Earl
half
Watson,
of their,
normal size
also
guy.
a normal sized guy.
Yeah.
Scoot Henderson, normal sized guy.
No, not he's built like a.
Well, yeah, he's muscular, but
Yeah.
6'2", 6'1", something like that.
I don't think he's normal sized. He's like a linebacker.
yeah.
How tall are you?
6'2".
Normal sized guy.
Normal size guy. Yeah.
Also built like a linebacker.
Went 2-22 on his basketball team in college.
Whoa,
Freshman year, we were about 500.
it's like the
last
process.
year.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they went to the NCAA tournament. So I turned around the program.
Well, they turned around when you
I
left.
shot 67% from 3 1 year.
Two for three.
4 for 6.
Okay. Normal size guy.
Better than you.
No, come on, get out of here. I would have gone 6 for 6. You kidding me? Were they contested?
One of them was from half court.
I love that you thought I asked JV that for a second.
No, but Shaden Sharp. What am I missing?
I mean, he's super athletic. He's barely played any basketball. You know, like I
He's
think,
young.
And this is the perfect situation. Like, okay, like we're gonna trade Dame. We're gonna be bad.
I also think
Go figure it out.
it's possible as he evolves, he'll be a really good running mate for Scoot because Scoot will be getting into the paint. And he's a really gifted shooter. He's a super athlete. There's a lot to work with. He just needs to learn how to play basketball, which isn't a small thing.
Yeah.
It's not a small thing.
Yeah.
But he has so many gifts, and he's
You-
had so many highlight plays already.
You know who I haven't loved, which is crazy for me because he's my type of player. I'm not a big fan of the way Jaden Ivey's playing in summer league.
Interesting.
Like
the
it's
Pistons got mollywopped with like 3 of their starters.
Yeah.
In the like real team starters.
Yeah. Wiseman was bad.
I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, and they're trying to like play Duran and him together. I guess just
Yeah.
for the sheer fact that they have to start both of them for optics' sake.
I couldn't even
But,
tell you if Osir Thompson was good or bad tonight because he never got the ball. Like
Osage County? Is that what you said?
Osir Thompson.
Yeah, and Ivy, especially
It's Amin's brother.
when
Twin
you-
brother.
when
I've
you
heard of him.
Someone texted me. They're like, "How does Osir look?" I said, "Like Amin." He does.
They,
Look it
they
up.
threw that one up. For
One
you.
of them got off the elevator at my hotel, and I don't know what. I think it was Osir.
it was a Thompson.
Yeah.
But Jaden Ivey, back to your point, like when guys come back for their second year, they typically dominate.
Yeah.
Jabari
should.
Smith dominating. Orlando Robinson dominating.
He's good. Heat culture, man. He's
good.
he's
Yeah.
next.
I used to watch Orlando Robinson when he was at Fresno State, and he used to cook everyone.
Yeah.
And now he's starting to do that. I don't know if he'll ever be a good defender.
You saying you watch Fresno State basketball is actually the worst thing you've ever said on this podcast.
They used to play. They would have games that started at like midnight. So after the last NBA game, Fresno State would still be on, and it was just a beautiful thing to watch Orlando
Beautiful
Robinson
thing.
cook.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs, indeed. All right, I want to end on something fun, guys. All right, we're in Vegas. We're being quirky. You got two options. You either tell me your favorite place and your least favorite place in Vegas, or you show me your lock screen on your phone.
Can I ask you
Yeah.
a question off of that question? When did you decide while we were talking that you were going to do this bit? Like, right from the jump?
I think right after I mentioned T.J. McConnell's name. Because I started thinking, if I could peel back the curtain a little bit, I started thinking about, like, what does T.J. McConnell do in Vegas?
Yeah. Well,
I bet he's a big, like, goes to shows guy. I bet he was at Usher the other night.
I wish I was at Usher.
Yeah.
I think he's like a One Oak guy.
Really?
No. No.
I think he's at that place where they put alcohol in milkshakes. What's that place?
I bet
Oh,
he goes
Holstein.
to
Holstein's, yeah.
I bet he goes to Old Vegas.
How did I know that? He's probably like a Pai Gow guy, like a very like
Oh,
deep cut
yeah.
gambler.
Okay.
He goes to Old Vegas.
Yeah. Cam Whitmore definitely plays Casino War, right?
I saw Daniel Orton once play Casino
I was with you.
War. That's right.
Daniel Orton lost about $1,500.
Wow.
Yeah.
He could have used that.
In maybe 20 minutes. Like
Use
it was
it now. Yeah,
yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah. Or maybe he's having a nice career somewhere. We don't know.
Yeah.
That-
So what was the
that
question
is
again?
true. Yeah.
Either show I want to either know what your lock screen is on your phone, or tell me your favorite and your least favorite.
It's nothing.
Boring. Yeah. All right. So tell me your favorite and your least favorite. That's you and your wife. All right. Mine's my dog. So all right. I guess we
you can
figured
also
that one
see
out.
my notifications. If
I don't.
You want.
I don't want to. What's the most interesting notification you got there?
There was none. I got a text from Adam Himmelsbach.
Nah, that's not interesting. No offense to Adam. All right. So what's your favorite and least favorite place in Vegas?
I think I'm having dinner tonight for the third day in a row at Momofuku.
Yeah.
Now,
3
I
days
think
straight is wild.
I don't.
Get the-
I never
get-
scheduled any of these.
Get the caviar bun. You
Okay.
have to.
Okay.
It's amazing.
So I would say by default, yeah, I just happened to fall into certain dinner reservations,
Okay.
and here I am
Yeah.
3 times. So I would say by default, it's my favorite place.
Okay.
Least favorite place, wherever you are.
So right here.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
This podcast.
I second that.
All right. Favorite place then.
Carbone.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
love
That's where,
Carbone.
that's where I saw Patrick Beverly celebrate the Kawhi Leonard signing back in 2019.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
How did he celebrate it?
So it was PJ Tucker, it was Jordan Clarkson standing in the middle of the restaurant talking. Patrick Beverly is skipping around the restaurant in celebration because he was a Clipper at the time, wearing
like 5 more
a
seconds.
black Allen Iverson jersey, and Clarkson and Tucker just having a normal conversation, and then occasionally Pat would skip up to PJ Tucker and just like a primal scream in his face, and then just go away. And PJ like could not have cared less.
Great.
Like it was great. Yeah.
Who made out the best from that moment on? Like, who's had the better career? It's PJ, right?
From those three, Jordan Clarkson.
No.
Clarkson?
Yeah.
PJ.
PJ's been in bigger moments, probably.
PJ won a title.
Oh, that's true.
after
yeah,
that.
Yeah. I forgot he was on that team.
Yeah, he's on the team.
God, he's
yeah.
gone.
And he's,
Good for
what
him.
is he, 39, getting paid like $11 million a year?
Good agent.
I will say Pat Bev hanging on for dear life in the NBA. Like,
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be
Teammates
out
now.
2 years ago. Yeah,
They
it's
are
true.
teammates.
Yeah, how about that?
They are going to be ludicrous together.
I think once we get to the Patrick Beverly, PJ Tucker teammates portion of the podcast, that's it. I'll say my least favorite place is there's that like promenade by the link where like the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club is and all this stuff. That is a nightmare of a place. Favorite place? The airport. Heading on out, guys. All right, that's going to do it for the Athletic NBA show. Listen to Group Chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good promotion.
Other whatever podcast.
Whatever podcast we're
player
doing here.
you're doing. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Spotify maybe.
Yeah. Sure.
Heard of it?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. Is that still a thing? Who knows? Pandora. Who knows? Sirius XM. Any of them. Not those. Okay.
Not the last one. Yeah.
And make sure you're checking out Jay's incredible summer league coverage of the summer Celtics, and read the Bounce newsletter from the Athletic.
I actually haven't written a single story about the Summer League Celtics.
All right, great.
So
We'll end
sorry.
on that. Thanks,
But
guys.
Jared Weiss is writing one today. You can read that.